Welcome to the Making of Me podcast. Today I'm joined by Nathaniel A, speaker and author, life coach, and the creators of Life Template. Nathaniel helps parents and adults design life on purpose instead of leaving it to chance. It's really a pleasure and an honor to have you on the show, Nathaniel.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you. So, in one sentence, Nathaniel, what challenge shaped you into who you are today?
What
Yeah,
allowed me to be who I am.
yeah, what challenge?
Well, I don't know what challenge. I don't know. I mean, because there's no such thing as challenge without an opportunity.
Yeah,
So I don't think my life is built based upon the challenge. My life is created based upon challenges and opportunities.
all right. You can just share those moments, both the challenge and the opportunity.
The challenge is in my name. My name is Nathaniel, which means Hebrew for gift of God. That's the challenge. It's also the opportunity to be a gift of God to everyone who I meet.
Yeah. How did that become the picture you look at to while you're creating the things you do and doing the life?
Because all of us are born, and when we're born, we have no determination about who we're born to, when we're going to be born, how we're going to be brought to this planet. But we do have, during our lifespan, have an opportunity to decide who we want to be when we are no more. And so that
Yeah.
feel like we don't spend enough time focusing on that. We focus on all of the nonsense in between, rather than those 50 to 70 characters that will appear on your tomb or your urn when your time is up.
Yeah. Amazing. So when did you first start thinking that far ahead about legacy instead of just success?
Probably most things in my life over the last 30 years are directly correlated to the great opportunity I've had and the fortune of being a father. So since having a son, or since having someone grace me with the honor of being a father, my perspective of life has been different.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. And you talk a lot about backward design. Simply
hmm
put, what does that mean for someone listening to us right now?
So let's say we want to meet in Lisbon, Portugal. Right? We're going to meet in Lisbon, Portugal. So you and I have decided where we're going to meet, and that's backward design. You and I have
Yeah.
a specific location that we're going to meet. Now, I'm assuming you're going to fly because I'm going to have to fly, and we're both going to fly
Yeah.
into Lisbon International Airport. Well, backward design is that. You and I have to know where we're going. And once we know where we're going, then we determine what's the best, most effective way for us to get there. You might find some other way to get there. I'm going to hop on a plane. I'm not going to get on a boat or anything like that. I'm going to hop on a plane to get to get to Lisbon. And that's backward design. You decide where you want to go in your life, and then you use tools, techniques, and strategies to get to that life destination.
Wow, that was really amazing. I think it just speak volumes to more like making plans on what the goal and the mission is, and then working backwards or
Yeah.
looking at the intricacy of what it takes to actually achieve it. Yeah,
Absolutely. It's a GPS of life. If you and I were driving, if I came to Lagos and you and I decided, and again, I'm only going to name cities that I know. I don't have a great knowledge of the landscape, but I know we could drive to Ghana. Ghana can't be that far
yeah,
away. And so we want to drive to the capital, which is Accra. You and I would have to determine, for example, if we were driving a car, how many miles a gallon the car would get, right? How much money we would need to pay for the fuel along the way. And if we had any less money than we needed, you and I would be in trouble. We wouldn't get to our
yeah,
destination, right? So that's backwards. But if you and I said, hey, along the way we want to stop, we want to tour, we want to buy stuff, we want to stay in this hotel, we want to do these things, then we need more resources. So we have to backward design is knowing exactly where we want to go and how we want to get there, and then making sure we have all the resources to make that trip a reality.
yeah, amazing. So you plan your son out life long before most parents think about college. What made you decide to parent that intentionally?
So honestly, two things happened. Well, a couple things happened. Number one, I was the law student and I was unemployed, and so I was wondering how could I possibly be unemployed? I've done everything anyone has asked me to do, which is the case, which is a question young people are asking themselves a lot these days. I've done everything that everybody asked me to do, and this world is still a mess and won't give me any opportunity. So I was at that kind of point in my life. The second part of it is that I was a child who grew up with a lot of adversity, and I did not want my child to experience the same adversity. Whenever I would look around, people would tell me that there's no manual for parenting, and I thought that that's utterly ridiculous. We have manuals for everything. We have a manual for put a car seat in. I have a manual for how to use a flashlight. There's a manual for everything, but there's no manual for people. So we decided to create a manual, and that manual initially was focused on how do we get that child to a great college or university so that when they got to the place that I am, they're not wondering why they don't have a job.
Amazing, amazing. I think this is really, really intriguing. Being the fact that you could actually pick out the lessons from where you were and actually being able to design what your child is so that he won't get to face similar situations that you are at that particular point. And that was really amazing. And many parents believe good grade means they are doing well. Why do you say that can be
Good
misleading?
grades. Yeah, so well because good grades are ambiguous. We don't know what we're comparing good grades to. So, if I go to a school, I grew up in a city called Gary, Indiana. It's one of the poorest school systems in the nation. If I get an A in a school in Gary, Indiana, where the overall academic proficiencies in reading, writing, math, and science are less than 15%, and you get an A in a school system where 100% of the students there's proficiencies in reading, writing, math, or science are in the top 95%, our grades are not the same.
Yeah.
And yet the people where when I've described would say he's a great student. Yeah, compared to the students here, where 85% of the students can't read, write, do math, and science at a basic level. So I think grades in that regard are not indicative of much without having an ability to measure them on a world level to see what the best and brightest students are doing. And that's who we should be comparing ourselves with, not whatever was happening in our local school. I would imagine in Nigeria, still the favorite sport is what Americans call soccer, but which is really football. And if I wanted to play and be a great soccer player, I would not want to play, no disrespect to the United States, in the MLS. I would want to play in the Premier League or in La Liga. And to say I was a great soccer player because I played in a U.S. youth league doesn't mean a whole lot on the world scale, right? And I think education is no different.
So true. I think the analogy just speaks volumes too. Sometimes the comparison really misleading, mean that it's a different ballgame entirely and it's a different grading system. So you have said that let kid be kid is a dangerous idea. What should parents be saying instead?
I'm enjoying the conversation. Why should we let kids be kids? Because kids don't have a clue about what's coming in life. So why would you let someone who doesn't know where they're going on the journey lead you? What sense does that make? The goal is not to raise a kid. The goal is to help young people become the best men and women possible. And if all I'm going to do is let you spend your most formative years being a kid, when do you know it's time to be an adult?
Yeah. Wow, that's intriguing questions.
And
I
when
mean,
you are then an adult, when everyone looks at you as an adult and you still behaving like a kid, how do we have the nerve to be mad at you? We didn't prepare you. So why should we do the very thing that in the end we're going to be mad about because you're not behaving like an adult, but there's nobody around you from the very beginning who structured your life so that you could be a great.
yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, if someone feels they have wasted time
Oh,
or
wasted
made the
time.
wrong terms, where do you think realistically they should begin again?
You know, right where they are, because that's the only place you can begin.
Yeah,
You can't begin in the past. You can't go in the past. And you can't begin, and you shouldn't wait to the future because the future is not promised. I liken the past and the future, if you will, to two private estates that have gates that are so high you can't see in. Have you ever seen, like, you obviously seen people who live in these big houses where they have these big gates so nobody can see inside what they
yeah,
have in their house? Right. Well, that's the past and that's the future. They're on opposite sides of you. You cannot look into the past and you cannot look into the future. Those two estates don't belong to you. What belongs to you is your estate, which is called the present. Now, in the present, what do you do so that if you get a tomorrow, you can move your life forward the way you want?
if you move forward, you get a whole lot out of life. Yeah, amazing. So you are both your funny and honest in your message. Why is truth, even when it's uncomfortable, so important in growth?
What else do we have? Why would I like? What's the point of not being truthful? I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why someone would not want to tell you the truth. Like, my grandmother was a very, I'm not gonna call her religious, a very spiritual being, a very faithful person, and she would say, the truth shall set you or make you free. And if the truth is the thing that frees us, right? If the truth is the thing that liberates us, then, and if that's, and all you and I have right now is a little bit of time together, why would I give you anything that did not free or liberate you? Right?
Yeah,
Right?
so true.
I'm not free if you're not free. So I want to be free. Then if I have some truth, and it's not my truth, if it's timeless wisdom, if it's that kind of truth, then I should definitely give it to you.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is really amazing. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free.
So set you free. Yeah,
Yeah,
see?
amazing.
See, you know.
Yeah, so true. So when all is said and done, what does a life well lived actually look like for you?
A life well lived, when all said and done, as when the people who I am in relationship with can tell the story of my life the way that I hope I'm living it currently. That's a life well lived. The interesting thing about life, of course, is that when it's over, you and I won't have an opportunity to say who we were. Somebody else will. I will not write my own obituary. If I show up and give my eulogy, everybody's going to run out of wherever that place is. Right.
So true.
But I'm not going to be able to record or etch the last words that appear on my tomb or my urn. That'll be up to somebody else. Now, I can have some influence on that in the way that I treat people every day. And so my objective is to live a life where people say that I helped, where I served, and I made sure other people who I came in contact with knew their life mattered. And that would be a life well lived to me.
Oh, amazing. So Nathaniel, what will be your final words to my audience? What will be your final words?
Cool. So because your show is titled "The Making of Me," I would tell people as a final word that the most important thing you can figure out is who you are. You can talk about the making of me, which means me knowing who I am.
Yeah.
The most important thing you can do is to know who you are. So I like to give you some keys to figuring out who you are. All right. First of all, you must know that you're not who you think you are. You're not who you believe others think you are. You are only who those you are in relationship with know you as being. And then if I can, I'll unpack that just a little. If you ask me what kind of father I was, I would tell you I am the greatest father in the history of the world. Then you might say, well, what does your son think? And I'd say, my son believes that I am the greatest father in the history of the world. And then you might meet my son and say, hey, his name is Naeem. Naeem, I met your dad. Yeah. What kind of father would you say he is? And he'd say, man, he all right. He's okay. It's okay. Who am I? Like, who am I?
It's okay.
I'm okay. I'm okay, right? So today I'm on a call with you, and you may be the last person that I talk to. I don't know what the next second in my life holds. But if you are the last person who has an interaction with me, then you are going to be the person who gets to say who I was.
Yeah, so true.
And I think that that's important for us to think about every time we meet somebody. This could be the last interaction, the last person that you interact with. Who do you want these people to be able to say that you?
Yeah, thank you so much, Natalia. Yeah, it's really a pleasure, man, just hearing from you and the fact that it's amazing. It's amazing, especially more like when it comes to kid, just being kid, and the fact that they don't have direction yet. Why should they leave them to just being kid? Who decide to see when they are kid? Where should they grow up?
That is
thank you so much, Natalia. So from all these want to connect with you, who want to learn more from you, and how can they reach out, and where's the best platform to reach?
I'm like everybody else, and I have a website, and it's Nathaniel NathanielaTurner.com, and then so NathanielAturner.com. And then the work that we do with parents, I have a different site for that. It's called the League of Extraordinary Parents, and the website is LXTRAP.com. The League of Extraordinary Parents, and NathanielAturner.com.
All right, amazing. And also, I would like you to leave a final words for those who actually want to become an extraordinary parent. What is the kind of nature of work you do? And just a word for them and for my.
Yeah, the League of Extraordinary Parents is to get parents to be extraordinary and stop being average. There's too many average, too many ordinary parents, and children deserve extraordinary. We invited you. I don't know your parents, and I won't speak about your parents. I'll just say, like the multitude of parents that I meet, forget that children are the invited, the special invited guest. Children don't ask to come to this planet. Parents ask for you to be on this planet. And there is no guest that you would have that is as royalty like a child is that we oftentimes would treat the way we treat children. So the League of Extraordinary Parents exists to get parents to understand that the gift of a child is a special guest, the likes of which is a king or a queen, because they could be a king or a queen somewhere, but how high they rise depends on how strong our shoulders are and how well we stand up to elevate you.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much, Ali. Oh, thank you for reminding us that yeah, life doesn't have to be our guess. It can be designed. For our listener, be sure to actually download our Nathaniel free book of free life templates, starter kits, and start building your own life with purpose. And definitely to the link is going to be on the show notes for those who want to reach out and dive into more to the work of what Nathaniel does. Once again, it's really a pleasure to have you on the show, Nathan.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.